agenda to push a new world order. That's why they were fought in the 1940s. World War II was fought not over what everyone thought it was fought of. Every war is fought by, it is funded by the rich, the Rockefellers, all the rich, the Rothschilds.
Okay, so yeah, let me ask you a question.
They funded all those wars.
Tulsi Gabbard is Hindu.
Jewish, they all have Jewish connections.
But you just
every
said
single every single person
they were all Jewish. Kristi Noem is an evangelical.
This guy was trying to warn Charlie.
Catholicism. They all have an AIPAC advisor. Not a single person in Congress can make a decision without asking their Israeli Jewish AIPAC advisor a decision without asking their Israeli Jewish AIPAC advisor.
Entire list.
Israel did 9/11, Charlie.
Oh, they did.
Why are we in the middle? I served. Why were we in the Middle East?
Well, I mean, you can,
why were we in the Middle East?
You can reject involvement in the Middle East without also believing Israel did 9/11. So if Israel did 9/11, help me understand this. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
They weren't hijackers.
Oh,
CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain to me what happened on the aircraft.
Okay, first off, what we have to understand, there's only one plane that actually crashed.
No,
okay,
there were three.
No, the building's imploded.
Okay,
if a plane's going to hit a building, why would the building fall down?
Time out. Flight 93, did it exist?
Flight 93 existed, yes.
Okay, so who tried to hijack that plane?
They sacrificed those people to make it look like Bush was targeted because they wanted to cover up Bush's involvement. He just happened to be in Texas reading a book to elementary kids, and they were reading a sign on a whiteboard
let me say
that talks about towers falling, Charlie.
Anti-Semitism.
We've been lied to since the beginning of this country. Jews, Freemasons, all of it's a satanic agenda. Israel is the synagogue of Satan. They're killing innocent people in Palestine over the guise of sovereignty. New World Order is coming, Charlie.
Guys, let me tell you, anti-Semitism is literally a brain cancer, as you could see.
How is this?
Is that correct?
Israel wants the New World Order. They're the synagogue of Satan. It says so in Revelation, Charlie.
Try art.
What if he faked his own death? That could be. Last night I was watching a movie where this really rich guy, wanted to transfer his soul into a younger body because his old self was sick. And the guy, the scientist, said, okay, but to fake your own death, it needs to be in a public place. And that set off like a light switch in my head. It has to be in a public place. What about the Charlie Kirk situation? So I started going over things in my head. Right? Charlie starts taking a stance that was a little bit distancing himself from Israel. Then he interviewed certain people that were against Israel, and apparently that pissed off a lot of people. So they invite him to Israel, right? He comes back. They invite him again. He doesn't go this time. Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk both said that he was offered millions not to give a voice or a platform to certain people. No. In the meantime, Charlie Kirk was said to be a future presidential candidate.
I kind of like where she's going with this.
Presidential candidate. You can only imagine him slipping.
It's entertaining, at least.
How that would be a problem. So we get to the day he was shot. I used to organize events, and for every event that I ever organized, I had to have a certain amount of ambulances or medics on site.
There's a lot of weird things that happened
that day that Charlie Kirk was shot,
as a result of this. It just doesn't sit as like a normal thing.
So the weird thing was that a lot of people,
because people get shot a lot, but like this one's hit the world way differently than most of the other ones. If not all of the other ones.
No ambulances, they get him and they take him away in a car. Next thing you know, you see people that are taking down the cameras that were right there. They never show us the angle from the camera that's behind him that like took everything. You have people jumping with their feet on the chair he was sitting in. Literally, this is tampering with the crime scene. We all know from every movie ever, that's a no-no. So the doctors say that Charlie died instantly, that even them rushing him to the hospital was useless. Okay. Next thing you know, it seems like it's this professional sniper that took this amazing shot from on top of a roof, right? But then all of a sudden we start finding evidence. The rifle was in a towel, this, that, evidence here, evidence there. All of these things that was like, well, if he was a pro, this is rookie mistakes. So there's that. Then the financier, one of the biggest donors to Turning Point, donates $1 million to whoever can find who did this. All of a sudden, Father of the Year decides to turn his own son into the police. Which is weird if we kind of look at it, but okay. So this guy turns in his son to the police, and he gets the $1 million reward. The kid doesn't admit to doing it, so there's no admission. I don't understand how you can turn yourself in, but you don't admit to the crime. Next thing you know, we find out that there are text messages between him and the live-in boyfriend that's a transgender kid named Lance. These text messages look like it's an essay, perfectly written out, incoherent.
Yeah, those
writing,
texts seem kind of weird too. If you look into that,
it's just not Gen Z lingo. It's that. But these text messages are arranged in a way that it almost sounds like this Tyler kid wants to cover up for anyone that could have helped him. Right? That's a possibility. Next thing you know, the police saying that this Lance kid is cooperating. All families, everybody's cooperating. The odd thing is, you don't see any news crews on site at their houses stalking them like they usually do. Serial killers, Octomom, anyone. Gypsy Road, Blanchard, you name it. Journalists are there in front of you and they're stalking you. These people, no. Not a camera crew in sight. No one is interviewing them. No. Another thing that I found weird, none of these people have regular socials. It's weird. They don't have normal social media. Okay. So they announced Kirk did. When they asked Trump about it, his reaction was to turn around and talk about the construction of the ballroom at the White House. That was weird considering that they were friends. I found that to be odd. Because usually Trump is more emotional towards these things, especially since they had the attempt on him. I want to remind you of the movie. If you have to fake your own death, do it in a public place. Okay. Just keep on remember this phrase from the movie. Then you have Candace Owens that's coming out saying that she has sources that are telling her that at the apartment the week before the assassination, this Tyler and Lance had a whole bunch of cars that were going back and forth from their house. This is all alleged. Candace Owens made videos about it. Then Charlie Kirk's pastor comes out and says everything that Candace Owens is saying is not true, that we're all conspiracy theorists. Okay, but if that's the case, then why didn't Erica Kirk tell Candace, hey, back off, shut the fuck up? You know what I mean? No, they're friends. They have their phone numbers. A lot of times it was Erica Kirk recording the videos of Candace and of Charlie. So that didn't happen. She didn't say back off. She did nothing. She's okay with whatever Candace is saying. So there's that. Next thing you know, Netanyahu comes out and
Candace is gonna find out. She's not gonna stop.
With Charlie Kirk passing away. That's weird. Since when does the leader of a nation come out to address a rumor on social media? A conspiracy, as they call it? What? Not once, but twice. So then we did.
That tells you that he's also on TikTok.
Charlie, and he had made it clear, Candace Owens confirms this, that they had offered him money to keep certain people off of his platform. Like, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. And Charlie said no thanks. He did not accept that money. We all know that if they can't buy you out, what's the next thing?
Take the money and run.
What if he was 2 steps ahead and he said, like in the movie, if you're going to fake your own death, do it in public. And the last weird thing that I'm going to tell you about is that if you see one of the pictures of Tyler Robinson, one of the regular pictures that they provided, in the TV, in one of the frames, there's an island. If you go and look at what this island is, it has a place there called Valhalla. Rewind. Cash, the FBI director, made a public announcement for Charlie Kirk. And he says, I love you and miss you, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you in Valhalla. Now, in Norse mythology, Valhalla is like heaven, right? But hold on a second. Charlie and Cash are not pagans. Charlie is a Christian. He follows Jesus. So why would he say, see you in Valhalla? And then the Tyler Robinson kid has that. So I'm going to leave you with the quote from the movie. If you're going to fake your own death, do it in a public place. What if he faked his own death That could be.
It's a good one.
Did you know? Whitney Houston didn't die naturally. She didn't accidentally drown. She was used as a sacrifice. Late at night on February 11th, 2012, she was found in the bathtub of room 434 at the Beverly Hilton. People who saw the scene say it didn't look like a normal accident at all. The room was dark. Candles melted on the carpet in a circle, like some old mark. On the wall across, a mirror was covered with black cloth. Mystics say it's a sign pointing to another world. Even stranger, a few hours before she died, staff heard her screaming in the hallway, "They're here.
It's pretty creepy.
They want my voice." Hotel workers also said they heard a second voice in the bathroom, a low, creepy whisper. The deal is done. 2 years later, the nightmare happened again. Her daughter, Bobby Christina, was found unconscious in a bathtub too. The scene was almost the same. A few months later, she died as well, and the autopsy again gave no clear answers. Conspiracy theorists think Whitney knew too many secrets. She tried to get out of that deal, but was punished.
She knew too much. That's the story, right? You know too much.
Holy shit. It's actually happening. Today, the world's first ever AI minister was introduced in Parliament. Yeah, it's exactly as wild as you think. Albania has just become the first country in history to give artificial intelligence an official capacity to govern. Its name is Diela, and during her, I guess, 3-minute debut address to Parliament, she said she was hurt that people labeled her as unconstitutional and said, quote, "Let me remind you that the real danger to the Constitution has never been machines, but human decisions made by those in power." And to be fair, she's kind of got a point, because this AI's role as minister is to oversee all government tenders and contracts.
But why make
the
her
idea is
like
that
a
this will
woman?
massively reduce corruption. Because, for example, how do you bribe an AI? It has no wants, it has no needs, it doesn't need a massage. In fact, Diana said she has no ambitions or personal interests and has nothing to gain, so why would she be stealing any money? And low-key, why does this make so much sense? And the thing is, many have spoken about a future where AI is in government overseeing all politicians for this exact reason. But with all the potential benefits that could come from a government without ego, bias, emotion, prejudice, also comes with a reminder that some of those emotions are kindness, forgiveness, mercy. And you want to know the real dark paradox of AI in government? For AI to be capable of one day destroying humans, it has to first make humanity's life so much better that we have to deploy it everywhere and can't live without it. Oh my god. Diala's gonna do amazing. Holy shit. It's actually happening.
Disney is taking hit after hit. So Howard Stern just announced that he's canceling his subscription for Disney. Mind you, a woman canceled her $150,000
Yeah, I'm done.
wedding.
I'm done
And
with
I know you're
Disney.
saying,
I
what
ended
does that
my
have to do with
subscription
anything? It was a Disney
when Marvel
wedding.
started
She
going
paid
down.
them. She canceled.
Ironheart
People were
was the one that
canceling
did it for
Hulu
me.
subscriptions, ESPN
I'm done with Disney.
subscriptions,
I'm done with all
Disney
that.
subscriptions. People are canceling their Disney
So
cruises,
fucking trans.
their Disney vacations. It's safe to say that it's probably about to be over for Disney. And like I said before, Disney lost about $4 billion because of the choice that they made. This is proof that we, the consumers, that's what they call us, consumers, have more power than the bigwig. We're the people that have to spend our money. We're the people that fund their business. So when they do shit that they're not supposed to do, this canceling thing is working the right way. And I know everybody at Disney is saying to themselves, damn, we should have rethought what we was about to do before we did it. But no. You did it, and now you see the shit that's happening. You silence our voice, we silence your money. And that's how that shit goes. People have to realize that we have the power. It's almost over. They're about to get tucked in nice and comfy.
This is why they say American livestock lags China by 60 years.
Ew, that's
we
so
still farm
gross.
chickens and pigs traditionally, but they already farm turtles at scale. Hearing that word makes you frown. Some even feel instantly disgusted. But here's what
Yeah,
you don't know. In
that's so
China,
fucking
it's called
nasty.
soft gold. It brings farmers millions every
I've
year.
never heard-
Every morning,
I've never heard
workers check the
it called
ponds.
that
They make
before.
sure
Soft-
water
it's a
stays
turtle.
clean and all feed remains fresh. Unlike the dirty turtle you imagine, farmed turtles never touch filthy water. They eat special fish meal and grains, so the meat stays pure and tender. When turtles reach the right size, they are sent into factories after washing and careful processing. The favorite
Just throw
way
it
to
in
eat
there.
them is grilled turtle on open fire. Workers cut the turtle in chunks. They brush secret sauces on pieces, then roast them
Man,
over
China
hot
needs to
charcoal.
slow the fuck
Flames push the
down.
fat out slowly. The meat sizzles with rich aroma. It tastes
They have
juicy and
chickens
tender,
too.
with plenty of natural collagen. Some say the texture combines chicken's tenderness with beef's chewiness. Medical research also points out turtle meat has collagen and minerals. It nourishes the
chewy.
body inside
Ugh,
and even
looks
helps with
gross.
healthy skin.
No,
No
thank
wonder
you.
people often claim eating
What kind of God would say to someone, you're the only person I like, everyone else I hate? A monster would do that. Okay? So, in other words, the true secret that these secret societies are trying to keep is the God we worship today is the false God. And we are actually in a prison created by this false God. And that's who Jesus was. Jesus was a cosmic being sent by the monad to tell us the truth about the world. And that's why he died, because the Roman Empire could not allow people to see the truth. If I told you the truth, you would know it right away. You would wake up. Therefore, the truth tellers must be killed, okay? So that's what these secret societies believe. They believe that the monad exists, and the mind of the monad is what creates the universe. And Jesus was sent to remind us that even though we're in a prison, there's still the monad in you. There's a spark in you, a divine light in you that you can activate. And if you activate it, then you will return to the monad. You will see the truth for yourself. And when you die, your soul, which is part of the monad, will want to return to the monad and can escape this world. But to activate this light, you must be a good person. You must love one another. You must reject money and materialism. And grades, okay? Grades in school. You must reject competition. You must reject material wealth in order to pursue spiritual happiness. Okay? That was the message of Jesus. Now you can imagine that the powers that be, the Nephilim, were not like this, okay? It's a direct threat to Nephilim, who now control the prison created by the demiurge. It's also a direct threat to the demiurge. And that's why these secret societies have been, over the centuries, been repressed, been executed, okay, been massacred. But they believe that it is their duty to protect this secret, because only by protecting the secret can humanity be ultimately saved. Right? What kind of God would say to someone, you're the only person I like, everyone else I hate? A monster would do that.
That's
Okay? So, in other words,
It's a funny way he says that.
Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. The nervous system of a subject can be manipulated through electromagnetic field pulses emitted by a nearby CRT or LCD monitor, which displays images with pulse intensity. End quote. Remember, the title of the patent is Nervous System Manipulation by Electromagnetic Fields from Monitors, and pertains directly to the idea that pulsating EM fields from television and monitor screens, regardless of what is actually displayed for the image, can be used to manipulate the nervous system of nearby watchers. One more paragraph. Keep in mind, this is from the patent itself, which was filed by Dr. Hendrikus G. Luce in 2003 for this one. Quote, certain monitors can emit electromagnetic field pulses that excite the sensory resonance in a nearby subject through image pulses that are so weak as to be subliminal. This is unfortunate, since it opens a way for mischievous application of the invention, whereby people are exposed unknowingly to manipulation of their nervous systems for someone else's purposes. Such application would be unethical and is of course not advocated. It is mentioned here in order to alert the public to the possibility of covert abuse that may occur while being online or while watching TV, a video, or a DVD. End quote. Consider for a moment that the patent itself is warning the public that someone else can manipulate them subliminally through their screen. First one, quote, these results confirm that, indeed, the nervous system of a subject
You can't trust anything nowadays.
pulses emitted by a nearby CRT or LCD monitor, which displays images with pulse intensity, end quote. Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields fields from monitors. The nervous system of a subject can be manipulated through electromagnetic field pulses emitted by a nearby CRT or LCD monitor, which displays images with pulse intensity. End quote. Remember, the title of the patent is Nervous System Manipulation by Electromagnetic Fields from Monitors, and pertains directly to the idea that pulsating EM fields from television and monitor screens, regardless of what is actually displayed for the image, can be used to manipulate the nervous system of nearby watchers. One more paragraph. Keep in mind, this is from the patent itself, which was filed by Dr. Hendrikus G. Luce in 2003 for this one. Quote, certain monitors can emit electromagnetic field pulses that excite a sensory resonance in a nearby subject through image pulses that are so weak as to be subliminal. This is unfortunate, since it opens a way for mischievous application of the invention, whereby people are exposed unknowingly to manipulation of their nervous systems for someone else's purposes. Such application would be unethical and is of course not advocated. It is mentioned here in order to alert the public to the possibility of covert abuse that may occur while being online or while watching TV, a video, or a DVD. End quote. Consider for a moment that the patent itself is warning the public that someone else can manipulate them subliminally through their screen. First one, quote, these results confirm that, indeed, the nervous system of a subject can be manipulated through electromagnetic field pulses emitted by a nearby CRT or LCD monitor, which displays images with pulse intensity. End quote. Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. The nervous system of a subject can be manipulated through electromagnetic field pulses emitted by a nearby CRT or LCD monitor, which displays images with pulse intensity. End quote. Remember, the title of the patent is Nervous System Manipulation by Electromagnetic Fields from Monitors, and pertains directly to the idea that pulsating EM.
Yo. Somebody granddaddy is getting tricked with this software right here.
Yeah, they're cooked.
And grandma is not safe either. Grandma is not safe because Mr. Johnny is here.
The Lost Library of Alexandria. Oh, you son of a But that's just a thing. I don't think it was lost. I think it was stolen. So for the people that don't know, the Library of Alexandria was located in Egypt in the 3rd century, and it housed almost every book in the world. It was estimated at 400,000 to 1 million books. They say every ship that came to the port was searched for books, copied, and even stolen, and to be put in the Library of Alexandria. So here's the part that I have a problem with. The mainstream narrative claims that the Library of Alexandria was mysteriously burnt down. They claim burnt down, burnt to the ground. But that is the thing. I do not trust no mainstream version of history. You see, what they like to do is give you a false narrative to shut you up, to stop you asking questions. I don't think all those books got burned. I don't think they've lost all the teachings. I think they're hiding it and keeping it to themselves. And I would not be surprised if all those books are in the Vatican.
100%.
Days.
They're at the Vatican.
If you haven't read The Immortality Key or listened to it, I really highly recommend it. It will draw a lot of analogies, if you're a Christian, to Greek philosophy and Dionysus possibly being the teacher of Jesus Christ, one of the most famous men that walked this planet. And the ability to transcend your spirit through practice, meditation. You know, Jesus was a teacher, he was a mystic, he was a healer. And I think we all need to realize the kingdom of God is within you. Conscious theory. If you haven't read The Immortality Key or listened to it, I really highly recommend it. It will draw a lot of...
Now here's where Casey's revelations become both fascinating and terrifying. According to his readings, the journey into physical matter happened in stages over what he called eons of time. Souls didn't just jump directly from pure spirit into human bodies. There was a gradual process of experimentation with increasingly dense forms of consciousness. Casey described how souls first experimented with what he called thought form projections, creating temporary vehicles for experiencing different types of consciousness without fully incarnating. These early experiments allowed souls to dip their toes into physical experience while maintaining their full spiritual awareness. But now here's where Casey's revelations become both
the comfort paradox. They say if you throw a frog into boiling water, it leaps to save itself. But if you place it in warm water and turn the heat up slowly, it never notices it's dying. Here's the paradox. Humans are the same. We run from sudden pain, but we surrender to slow destruction. We fear collapse, revolution, disasters, things that strike fast. But what about the things that creep? The endless scrolling, the algorithm shaping your thoughts, the comfort of convenience that quietly takes your choices away. We mistake safety for freedom and comfort for life. But every click, every shortcut, every small surrender is another degree on the dial. The frog jumps when the boil comes all at once, but we stay in the bath, smiling, believing we're safe, while the water slowly cooks us alive. So the question is, are you living in comfort or just waiting for the boil? The comfort paradox.
No explanation. If you know, then you know what's going on. Why else do world leaders run and kiss his hand? No explanation. If you know, then you know what's going on.
This year, he's on track to make close to $1 million in sales. Brandon Bechtel was just a 13-year-old looking for a job. He thought about the standards, lawn mowing, landscaping, but then a Google search gave him an idea. Candles.
So I purchased some supplies, some materials, some labels, and just tried to put it all together.
And thus began Brandon's Candles.
I was a real rough product. Labeling was not good. The candle quality wasn't great.
4 years later, not so rough. Making $500,000 in sales last year alone.
I had switched from Etsy to Amazon Handmade and saw a large increase in sales. Yeah, if you want to smell Ocean Breeze, it's a real nice color, I think.
Yeah, it's nice.
Thank you.
It's good. I like the color.
All his candles are eco-friendly and locally sourced. He also added the Eco Candle Supply brand that offers do-it-yourself kits. This year, he's on track to make close to $1 million.
That's pretty good.
Believe it. We finally discovered the truth. After centuries of deception, we finally figured out that our mainstream history is a lie and that much of our past is actually hidden from us. In our lifetime, we figured out that the pyramids of Giza were actually power plants, that there's a hidden chamber underneath the Sphinx, and that Göbekli Tepe predates civilization over 12,000 years. But it wasn't until recently that we also discovered something even more mind-blowing than any of that. What we discovered is that global cataclysms happen all the time, and that our last one may have been as recent as 200 years ago, right around the time of the Revolutionary War. During this period of global upheaval, secret societies like the Freemasons and the Papal State seized control of our historical timeline, skewing it in their own favor. They rewrote the history books and moved into the buildings left by the previous society, claiming them as their own. They monopolized our governments and controlled school curriculums. They poisoned our drinking water and made every effort to dumb us down. But the thing about the truth is, no matter how much you try to bury it, in the end it will always find a way to surface. In this video, we are going to lay out all the evidence, everything to date we can find, to prove the theory of Great Tartaria is a valid historical hypothesis and should be considered more highly by those in the mainstream academic community. The evidence, in my opinion, is all around us, hidden in plain sight, a unified architectural signature somehow spread all across the world, centuries before globalization. Magnificent basilicas built to last forever in towns with a population of only 500 people, architects that don't exist, building timelines that don't add up, city fires everywhere, all across the US, somehow getting so hot that they were able to melt thousands of brick and stone buildings into piles of rubble and magma, sometimes 2 or 3 times in the same city. We are undoubtedly, in my opinion, living in the ruins of a civilization that had technology beyond our comprehension, and in this video, I am going to do my absolute best to prove it to you. Prepare yourselves for the Tartarian Empire. Full theory explained.